You know those movies you watch where you just cannot believe how much worse it's going to get? Strap in. The Last In, or The Lawst In. So right before I've sat down to record this, I quickly looked up the movie on Imdb because part of the reason I watched it was because it was just like a 2.7 out of 10. I don't always like to watch the most popular or most promoted movies, but I also don't like to always watch the highest rating, you know? I like the bad movies. My logic for that is, even though it's coming in at like 2.7, that was agreed and greenlit by somebody. So when they pitched the movie, they must have had some idea in there that was really good or really unique. Doesn't mean it was executed well, but something sold them on it. And normally you can find that in these movies. My reason for watching it aside, I found this as The Last In. It's in the movie as The Last In, perfect. Even their own IMDb page calls it The Lawst In. I've just looked it up, and according to Google Translate, Lost is Welsh for rainstorm, which feeds into the story in here, but even still, fucking no. This film, fuck me. We are following Laura. Going on a trip, she crashes her car and she ends up at the Last Inn, or Lost Inn. And this is where some creepy stuff starts to happen. She meets some other residents here. She meets, a boy called Stephen, and they get quite pally, and they're the two main characters. They meet a couple as well, and there's a child, and there's also a parent that just won't leave their room either, and the two that run the hotel. So there is a few characters roaming about these halls. I'm going to say this now, if you're someone that likes to drink to a bad movie, this is the movie for you. I will set out some ground rules for you. Every time poor effects are used, 100% you have to take a drink. Please drink responsibly, because if you follow that rule, it will not be responsible. That's all I'm saying. The special effects in this film are honestly so bad. Not only do they take you out the movie, there's so many things here that are wrong. But the special effects, I'm getting ahead of myself. So she ends up here and the creepiness begins, They've noticed one of the kids is playing with another child. They've not seen the parents of this kid yet, for example. So that's something that's a bit fishy going on. There's a doll that keeps moving around and taunting, the other couple more so. The owners are just being generally a little bit shifty about the place, and they're very standard. I don't really want to spoil this, even though I don't recommend this film for anything other than drinking purposes. That finale is just so ridiculous. You kind of have to experience it for yourself. So if you want something just to take the piss watching, this is it. And I feel for the actors in it, because you must think that they've accepted these roles as like their big break. It really isn't. I'll say it right now. For the vast majority, and I was keeping an eye out for this as the film progressed, I am pretty sure every actor in here is speaking English. But they made the decision to dub English over the actors. I don't know why. So all the audio is dubbed audio, but the characters are speaking English because it matches almost perfectly. So they're clearly speaking English. And I've looked up a couple of the actors. They're from America. They speak English as well. So why they made that decision, I have no idea. And I never quite worked out what it was about dubbed movies or shows that just sounded off until watching this. It's because it's all at the same volume. So regardless of where somebody is in a room or in a scene, what the scenario is, the audio is the same. Not always, obviously things can dub a lot better than this, but it's got that kind of clarity to it.
Yeah, I'm not really the sweet type. It's kind of a problem.
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm sure your girlfriend doesn't mind if she knew you well. You have a girlfriend, right? If you don't mind my asking.
No, I mean, I don't mind you asking. Yeah, I have a girlfriend.
And that's what just takes you out of every scene in this movie. It's fine. It's some dubbing, we'll crack on. The dialogue to match the dubbing is just awful. Like, it is the most forced dialogue I've ever seen, and I will now come on to the special effects. So the movie immediately started with like a throwback, a young girl in the house, and she was playing with clearly not a Ouija board because they don't have the rights to that, so like a makeshift Ouija board, and like a painting falls off the wall, a hand comes out to get her, and I was laughing then. It only gets worse from there. I have spoke about this movie more than really good movies because I had to talk about these effects. Laura falls down the stairs at one scene. Any character that falls in this, they've green screened a fall, which I don't understand because it doesn't take much for someone to fall. You wouldn't necessarily need a stuntman to fall over. But anyway, she falls down the stairs at one bit of a stunt, but they've green screened it. They've not got any of the sizes right when they use green screen for fall, so characters are suddenly really small or really big, and they've added like a wobble effect to her, and then what they've done is just like drag her down the stairs, the photo of the stairs, and it's just doing that motion throughout the whole staircase. A moment for some reason they think to make it more tense they'll put the camera in like first person perspective as well. Hell, I like a first person shot, especially to build suspense, but they've clearly got it on a tripod that just moves. like horizontally. There's no hand cam, there's no shakiness, there's not even the slightest bit of wobble to it. It just looks so robotic. Another I've got to share, right near the end of the movie. So the couple that own this hotel, one of them is cutting up bodies, and even then they've just photoshopped photos of the body in to, instead of having pieces and fake parts. It's just all so shit. And what I think they sold this movie on was, it feels like they've went for The Others, which was a really good horror with a fantastic twist. So they've went for the Others, but they've tried to make it their own. I can see what they're trying, and that's the annoying thing. I can actually see the thing that they must have pitched. It does raise a lot of loopholes. Again, I don't want to spoil this movie. I really don't. But it doesn't quite make sense. So basically the characters, do I say it? Fuck it. Spoilers for this next moment. If you want to skip the spoilers, click here. So it turns out Laura and Stephen are a couple, and they always have been a couple. And they were way before they got to this hotel. So these characters have had fatal injuries. So Stephen died whilst travelling with Laura, but Laura only got a head injury, so her spirit is now in the hotel and she has 7 days to find her memories again and she'll go back to her body. However, Stephen was dead immediately in this car accident, but he chose to be there with her, and so for doing that, he now every 7 days relives the accident and he's stuck in the hotel, as are the two that own the hotel, and as the other couple, you'll find they were injured as well along the way. Stephen can't tell Laura what's happened. She needs to find that out on her own because she needs to be a strong enough soul. You with me so far? Because I'm fucking not. That's the premise, and I kind of get what they were going for. It could work, but she's not dead. She's in a coma. So does that mean that only head trauma in this area allows you another chance to live? The whole point is that her body is somewhere and her soul is somewhere else. They specify that it was a head injury, and there's another girl in the hotel who her kid you always see running about. Turns out she died years back in the hotel by her partner that murdered her and made it look like an overdose. Like, if I remember that right, I do. If not, it's fine. But even the overdose scene, they put like 20 syringes down, which is just laughably over the top as well. But ultimately, Laura remembers her past relationship with Stephen, and oh, I forgot about it until just now. There's a montage, and it's one of these montages where it's all a little bit misty. It takes you through their relationship together, and it's got just the most cheesy love song over it all. It's fucking brilliant. Like, it's so bad it's brilliant. I don't think The Last Inn deserves even the 2.7 out of 10 that it's got, but somehow it fucking has it. The effects are bad. The story just doesn't work. You can see what they're doing, but it doesn't work. The audio is just hard to listen to sometimes. Both the audio and the dialogue as well. And fuck me, the acting is just so over the top. I cannot recommend this in a normal capacity. If you've got the time to watch this, go and do anything else. However, if that other thing is to drink to a movie for a bit of fun with your friends or your family, find The Last Inn and give it a watch. That's all I'm saying. You'll have a good time drinking to this movie. That's some of my thoughts on The Last Inn, The Lawst Inn. Have you seen it? See if you have. One, I'll be amazed, but two, please let me know if we agree or disagree. Whilst you're there, drop this a like, hit subscribe. That just lets me know that you want to see more like this. Thank you so much for watching. Can't believe I watched this shit.